Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, text number 55. Is that correct? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Parta Manogatan Atmani Ivatmana Tushta Stita Pragyasta Dochyate. Word for word meaning. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Prajahati gives up. Yada when. Kaman desires for sense gratification. Sarvan of all varieties. Partha, O son of Prita. Managatan of mental concoction. Atmani in the pure state of the soul. Eva certainly. Atmana by the purified mind. Tushta satisfied. Stita pragya transcendentally situated. Tada at that time. Uchyate is said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Everybody please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Purport. The Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendentally situated has no good qualifications, because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation. For this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport on the second chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, text 55. Om Ajnanantimirandasya Gyanan Gyana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavanesvari Visavanu Sute Deve Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmani Evatmana Tusta Sthita Pragyasta Dochyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So prior to this, Arjuna asked the Supreme Lord some questions, which pertains about the nature of a person who is in the transcendental platform. We'll read his question, Arjuna's question from yesterday. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnascha kabasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhashena kim ashita brajeta kim. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak, and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? So this is the first of the question, the reply to the first question of a person who is merged in transcendental consciousness. That means a person who is very advanced in spiritual life. That he doesn't listen to his mind, first of all. And he doesn't desire anything for himself. All of his desire is meant for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. This is very rare kind of personality. We don't see this personality walking amongst us every day. The natural tendency of those who get in the conditioned state is that they're always doing many thinking. The mind is always working, planning. The mind is always thinking of ways how one can become properly situated and mostly enjoy oneself. This is the nature of a conditioned soul. The conditioned soul is like this, always thinking for I, me, and mine. So that is natural. It is unnatural if one always thinks for the benefit of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotees. You don't find this very often. And therefore, those who are in that platform, they are self-satisfied. It says here, they are in the what you call santushta. So we have one person, one devotee named Santushta. Santushta Das. That means he's the servant of that person who is self-satisfied. Now the original person who is self-satisfied is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because why? He has all the opulences to the highest degree. So he doesn't need anything. And for that matter, he is self-satisfied. But it says at the same time though that he's still not satisfied. That's why he created us for his own enjoyment, to further become the supreme enjoyer. He created the living beings. A person who is self-satisfied, who is in the transcendental nature, is with the Supreme Lord, because he is in relationship to that person who is completely self-satisfied. Then that person also becomes self-satisfied, because he doesn't have any other plans for himself. So this is the secret here. To be self-satisfied, one has to connect himself with that person who is the supreme self-satisfied. Now when you connect yourself to that supreme self-satisfied personality, you become Brahman. Brahman, Atmana, Atmarama. It says Atmarama also. Atmarama. Self-satisfied. So the root cause of our suffering is due to we desire for sense enjoyment. As soon as one wanted to enjoy materially, then his suffering starts. This is not understood by the materialist. The materialist, their desire for material sense enjoyment cannot be fulfilled. It's like having a fire and you put more petrol into it. You're building a fire, you have a fire, but then you're putting petrol, keep on putting petrol. You'll not be able to extinguish the fire. Lust, greed, illusion, madness, desire to fulfill one's senses, to the sense objects. There is no conclusion to this. It cannot be fulfilled. One cannot fulfill it because we are not in that nature. We are spirit souls. Any material sense enjoyment cannot satisfy the living beings because we're not of the same nature. So usually this is the function of the mind, always making plans, always trying to concoct. I think I will be happy in that way. No. I'll change that. Oh, let me go in this way. Maybe I'll be happy in this way. Oh no, that will not do also. I've tried that before. Let me do something else. Let me try something else. Keep trying. But it never works. Not until he finds himself serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The only way how we can mitigate or stop the suffering or becoming self-satisfied is to be engaged in devotional service. That's the only alternative. There is no other way. The Jnanis, they have desires also. The karmis or materialists, they have desires. The bhakti-yogis, the bhaktas, they also have desires. Everybody has desires. You cannot have without any desires. It's not possible. Only a dead person doesn't have any desire. As long as we have this material body, we will have desires. So the materialists, their desires to enjoy materially, their senses to the sense objects. The Jnanis, their desires to be happy by merging into Brahman. Now the Bhaktas, they also have desires, but their desires is not for themselves. Their desires is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord and His devotees. So there's a big difference. Only through devotional service that one can become self-satisfied, Atmaram, or Atmanam also, Atmanam. Or here it says Stita Pragya, one who is transcendentally situated. There's a story of one person. He doesn't have anything. Yes, impoverished. It says that only to those who are impoverished, only to those who doesn't have anything, then they can become self-satisfied. It's the opposite, isn't it? If you don't have anything, then you want more. But no. Akinchana, that's the meaning of akinchana. Akinchana means we don't have anything. But then there's this one story of a person who's impoverished, so he wants to fulfill his material desires. So he was told that there is one sadhu in Vrindavan. So you go, approach him, because he knows how to, he knows the answer, how you can become self-satisfied. But this person actually wants material desires to be satisfied, not spiritual desires. So he went to Sanatan Goswami. And so he offered his obeisances, his dandavats, and he asked, "Oh, Gosai, I've heard that you have a very valuable item that will be able to fulfill my desires." And Sanatan Goswami says, "Really? You want to have it? Okay, you may have it. You go near that garbage can on the corner, and you'll find Chintamani stone." Chintamani stone. The Chintamani stone is a very magical stone. Whatever you touch also becomes gold, like Midas touch. You know Midas touch, the King Midas. So this Chintamani, so whatever you desire also becomes fulfilled, especially becomes gold. So he went there, he picked up this Chintamani stone, and then he went back to his village, and his friend says, "So, did you get that thing that you really wanted to fulfill your desires?" He says, "Yes. Goswami gave me this stone." He says, "This will make my desires fulfilled. But he told me to pick it up." He says, "It was located near the garbage, pile of garbage." And the friend says, "If this is the most valuable thing, why is it in the pile of garbage? This is not the best. This is not the best thing that the Goswami has, because you are not getting the best yet. Actually, this Chintamani stone doesn't belong to Sanatan Goswami. It was just there. It was just there in the corner of the pile of rubbish. So you go back and find out. Ask him the real thing, the most important, valuable thing that he has, because he's not giving you the right one." So he went back, and then he asked Sanatan Goswami, "I'm sure you have a better one than this. Otherwise, why will you put this in the pile of garbage? If this is your most valuable thing, it cannot be there." So Sanatan Goswami says, "Do you really want to have the best? But you have to throw this to the river, to the Ganga. You have to throw this." Now he's hesitating now. he got, you know, he can fulfill all of his material desires more than he wanted. Now he says, "If I throw this out, I will have it. If I don't throw it, I will not get the best. So let me get the best." He's hesitating, but finally he made a decision to throw to the Ganga this Chintamani stone. Then he went back to Sanatan Goswami. "Oh Gosai, I already did what you asked me to do. I threw the Chintamani stone to Ganga. So what is it that you have for me?" And then he says, "I will give you the holy name of the Lord. I will give you the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the most valuable. It's the most valuable." That's true. The holy name is more than the Chintamani stone, because chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will deliver one from the cycle of repeated birth and death, and ultimately it will give the most lovable object, Krishna Prem, which is, once you have Krishna Prem, you don't need anything else. And this is why we're here for. We try to attain love of God. But somehow we're not still so much convinced. Our faith is not so strong. We don't have that nista yet. Our faith right now is the beginner's faith. The beginner's faith means it's not very solid. The foundation is not so strong. We're still afraid to give up our material desires because we think that, oh, will I really get love of God? Just like the villager. It's like the villager. Ultimately, only when one surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead that one will rise up from the concoction of the mind. This is like pulling, pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling. There is no end to it. As we described from our last meeting, that no one can control the mind. You cannot control the mind. You just have to give an alternative to what the mind desires for material sense enjoyment. Think of how to be engaged in Krishna's service. This is the only way how one can control the mind. It's not possible to control the mind. Mind is always thinking of many, many ways, and ultimately wants to fulfill one's lusty desires. Now, lusty desires is not just sex or women. Lusty desires means money, women, and prestige. That's lusty desires means. Now, one may be able to become renounced, no need of money. Just depend on the Supreme Lord. That's possible. One can give up the attraction for the opposite sex. Just fully surrender unto the Supreme Lord. But the most difficult to give up is one's position, one's prestige, one's honor or pride. You have to eat your pride in order to surrender unto the Supreme Lord. And that is the most difficult part. Even for the sannyasis, they can renounce wealth, women, but some sannyasis, who are supposed to be in the renounced order of life, what to say of the grihastas? Grihastas, they want to show off most of the times. Because of, oh, my relatives, my friends, they have this. I want a better one than them. They have a nice car. I want the best. Always the best, grihastas. Because there's this license for sense enjoyment. So, could be misused. But for those who are in the renounced order of life, they want lots of followers. They want also sometimes to be always in the front. So it's not so easy. They want to be also in high esteem, like on the top. So this is also another trick of Maya, trick of the mind. Because ultimately, even in the Bible it says, the meek shall inherit the earth. Is that right? The meek shall inherit the earth. That means those who are humble. Now you cannot be humble if you're not surrender, if you don't give up your false ego. Those who are humble, that means they don't have false ego. If you have false ego, everything is false. Okay? If you have false ego, that means everything is false. Everything is just like a show. a pretender, which means externally you try to show you're satisfied, but inside you're not satisfied. A person who's in Krishna consciousness is satisfied outside and is satisfied inside because he is with Krishna. So one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation. For this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. So our consciousness right now, we're trying to become Krishna conscious because that is the transcendental platform. But still something is stopping us to be like that. Why is that? We have so many attachments. That's the problem. We have so much attachments. Especially family, which is the greatest bondage in this world. That's why we still keep repeating, having birth, taking birth again and again is because, as says in the Shastras, that the greatest attachment is the family, which is, according to the Shastras, also is temporary. Our relationship with our family members is only in this lifetime. It's only in this body. However, if the family members are Krishna conscious, then there is nothing wrong to be attached to them. You try to help them make further progress in Krishna consciousness. That is the ideal. But then if we have families who are not so Krishna conscious and to be attached to them, getting involved in their karma, we get implicated in their karma because we don't have anything to do with their karma. We can only help them to become Krishna conscious. Now, to help them in their karma, we'll get karma. There is a reaction. And that is not advisable. That's not advisable. We have friends. If they're Krishna conscious, fine. But friends only for sense enjoyment, karma. We take birth again. Our dear ones, our loved ones, if they are trying to become Krishna conscious, we should try to help them. And if they're advanced, more advanced than we are, then we should try to, as much as possible, try to get their association as much as possible. But if they are not, then it'll be the cause. Especially in Asia, the family attachment is so strong, more than in America. In America, once the child reaches a certain age, he will walk away from the house. He wants to live on his own. No calling of the parents. That's being renounced, isn't it? No contact of the family. Only maybe when in trouble, they will contact the family members. But as much as possible, even if they belong to a very rich family, they don't care. They will walk away. As Prabhupada, he observed many of these hippies, they live in very, very big houses, but then they live like poor. They want to be renounced at the same time, but it's not really renounced because they don't know the direction. Therefore, they're not satisfied. Only devotees are satisfied. They may live in a very simple hut, not in a big villa or a big palatial house. They can live even under the tree. As Prabhupada says, we don't need these big things. We can live under the tree. He was telling to the reporters. But if you live under the tree, you will not come. So being no material desires means the desire that what we have is only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. And this is what you call sthita pragya, transcendentally situated. No more desires for sense gratification. It's not so easy to not have any material desires. Prabhupada says, as long as we have this material body, we will have material desires. But a transcendentally situated personality, he may not be completely 100% pure, but he knows that the main goal is just to please the Supreme Lord. His identity is always intact, that he is a servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord, that he's never master. The materialists, how can they be satisfied? They want to become a master, but they cannot be a master. Up to a certain extent, you're a master, but still you have to serve. But to think that you will not serve anyone or anybody, that everybody should worship you or everybody should serve you, then he's living in hallucination. And that's why they become frustrated. Most of the times, those who have rich, who have money, they're the ones who are more anxiety. They're the ones who are committing suicide. The rate of suicide for those who are famous, materially famous, is higher. They're even like, some of them are like even comedians. Comedians, you know, comedians? They make people laugh, but they're the ones who are insecure. They're the ones who are dissatisfied, and they ended up committing suicide themselves. It's the opposite. How is that? You want to make people happy, but you are unhappy. Does it make sense? No. Doesn't make sense. Devotees, they're happy, and therefore they can make others happy also. They're Atmaram, and therefore they can also make others Atmaram, self-satisfied. They know the way how to do it. So, sthita pragya, transcendentally situated. He has no desires resulting from petty materialism. That means he knew that no material sense enjoyment can satisfy him. And therefore, he always remains happy because he's situated in his natural condition. For the spirit soul to be in the material world is unnatural. And try to enjoy the material energy, it is unnatural. It's not possible. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. It's like a fish trying to enjoy in the land. The fish will not enjoy in the land. Fish has to go back to water. So in the next few verses, we'll be hearing more. There's different descriptions of a person who is transcendentally situated. What is his characteristics? Okay, we stop here now. Is there any questions? Karbajan Prabhu, always have something. Who's going this way first? Okay, let him go this way.
Hare Krishna, thank you Maharaj. You are referring about karma, family members and that. Supposing the head of the family tries to convince the family members to take Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
And chanting, etc. The karma will again affect him.
If you're trying to ask somebody which is in the spiritual platform, how can he affect you? The parents, their duty is to direct the family because you're the head of the family. So your duty is to direct your family in the right track, to be Krishna conscious. That is your duty. Now, if some of these family members, they go in a different direction, they become materialist, sense enjoyment, whatever they're doing, it will not affect you. That is their karma. Because your duty is only to direct them. If they don't want to follow you, what can you do? And still though, you continue to direct them. As long as they're willing to be directed, you keep giving the direction. If they don't want to, don't disturb them. Fine. You're responsible for your actions. Whatever you do. I know one devotee, not all of his children are Krishna conscious. Some of them are, breaking all the four regulative principles. Some, they follow. In our movement is like that. In the beginning, they were born into Krishna consciousness. But then later on, when they become grown up, they choose to go in a different path. But don't blame yourself for this, because your main intention is to put them in the right track, in the right direction. You don't have any karma in this if they become sense enjoyers.
The second question is, the sovereignty of the head of the family and attachment to the family members.
Was that again?
Attachment to the family members,
yeah.
And responsibility of the family. To what extent these two?
Did you understand his question?
We would like to be detached as far as possible, but then some situations compel us to be attached to the family members.
Do you understand his question again now? Where do you draw the line? Well, there are two words here. Affection and attachment. Affection means it's natural for you to love them, to care for them. Alright? To take care of them. That is your affection. That is inborn within us, because Krishna is like that. He has affection towards all. Now, attachment means my son, let's say for example, he wants to buy things for himself to enjoy materially. And you want to be succumb to this. You says, well, I want to make my son happy, and therefore I should fulfill his material desires. Because if I see that he's happy getting his material desires fulfilled, I should be happy also. But this is attachment. You have nothing to do to fulfill his material desires. That's why you should curb. There is a boundary. I can give you as this much, but anything after this is material desires. You can bring your family into vacation, but don't go to Las Vegas or to beach resorts. No, you go to the holy dam. Let them enjoy spiritually. But he says, oh no, we have not seen this place which is materially sense enjoying place. Okay, let me fulfill. No. That means you are implicated. You'll get the karma. You'll be in trouble. That means you're not gearing them towards the right path. You'll be in trouble. You don't want to be in trouble, right? You don't want them to be in trouble. So you says, okay, You want something, okay, you're only up to this. Because anything beyond this, but you have to be expert. Where is this boundary? Because if you fulfill, this is what you call extended sense enjoyment. You become happy while seeing them materially happy. Your sense enjoyment is extended now to your family members. And therefore, this is attachment. This is not affection. You know, if they're in danger to fulfill their material desires, that's it.
Where is the responsibility?
Huh?
Where is the responsibility of the family?
You have to be expert. Train them up. You tell them that fulfilling these material desires will lead you to sufferings. You have to teach them. You have to read Bhagavad-Gita like this verse. This is your duty. You have to chant together, read the Shastra together, offering, cook only what is prasadam. They say, no, we want to go to this dabba. We want to go to this restaurant. I want the taste of prasadam. This is not prasadam. This is not cooked by devotees. No. We only eat at home. Whatever your mom cooks, this is what we eat. And before we eat, we offer to Krishna. This is controlling, in a sense, so that they're restricted. But you give them enjoyment also. We go this way. Karabajani is the last. Yes, sir. You want to say something?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your association. Beautiful lecture. My question is, you told us that we should be detached from a family. So if I'm living with my family, I cannot leave my family. So how should we be detached while living in the family life?
Detached means not being engaged in sense enjoyment. If you live with your family, you have to let them know that you are practicing Krishna consciousness. So, as much as possible, you request them to please respect what you're doing. They may not want what you're doing, they may not like what you're doing, but because you're a grown-up man right now, you can have your decision. They can decide for you what to do, but then you don't have to follow that. Just like what we said. But in Krishna consciousness, this family, you took birth in a certain family because your karma is involved with them from the past. You took birth in a certain family because that's the only member. The members of your family is the one that will fulfill your past karma, whether you have to suffer or enjoy from your past karma. Now when you have the right way of thinking now, like you've grown up, you can get away from that karma that you were involved from the past. How you can get away? Either ways, you can be more materialistic or you become Krishna conscious. If you are Krishna conscious, you try to become Krishna conscious, then you inform them. Just like what I did. But they respect what I'm doing. Yes. What to say of India? India, they should understand you more. Because this is a land of Dharma. Isn't it? If you choose Mama, Papa, I would like to chant and offer all the foodstuffs that I'm going to eat to Krishna. He says, no, nothing in this house. You cannot do that. So what are you going to do? No, still try to convince. If they cannot, then you have to choose. You have to choose your own life. You want to be really happy? Show them the example. of the right happiness, right path towards happiness, becoming self-satisfied. If they respect what you're doing, even though they're not following you, then they make advancement in that way. Just to see you on the right path, even though they don't agree with what you're doing, but they are favorable to what you're doing, they get benefited. As we were discussing, what was that, the Nishinga Chaturdasi day, pure devotee, Uttama Bhakta, he liberates 21 generations ahead and before. And a Madhyam Bhakta, he liberates 14 generations ahead and before. And a Kanista Bhakta, 7 generations. So there is hope for us. We're all Kanistas. But no, we're just trying to become Kanista. The Prabhupada says, come at least to the Madhyam platform. Madhyam platform. So yes, pray to Lord Krishna, but especially pray to Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram. Karvajanji. Go ahead. Hare Krishna.
You were giving an example of Sanatana Goswami. He was having went to him and he's keeping in garbage at a stone.
Yes.
And when he went in again, he told him to throw the stone, he threw the stone. He was hesitating to throw the stone.
Yes.
And later on he said, I will do something more if you throw this stone.
Yeah.
So he was still hesitating whether I should throw or...
Yeah, this is our case also. We're hesitating. We don't want to give up our material desires to completely surrender.
Similarly, when we have become devotees, we understand all things. We understand that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam. We understand all those things, but still we are hesitating to fully surrender to Krishna.
Yes.
Why it is like that?
Why? Because you're trusting your mind. You don't want to trust Krishna. You're trusting your experience. Maybe sometime materially you were happy, you know. But what kind of happiness am I really gonna get? Am I really gonna get a better happiness? The alternative to what I'm enjoying right now. So, but at least we're trying. Even if you're hesitant, you don't stop the sadhana. You don't stop getting up early in the morning. You don't stop chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You don't stop serving the Vaishnavas. You don't stop the process, even though you're hesitating, because one day, all your doubts will fly away. All your doubts will... You are in a crossroad. You are gonna come to a situation where eventually I have to give up everything. We know where we're gonna go, but there's a time when you really have to make a decision here. You're gonna make a decision, either Krishna or Maya. There's only two. There is no 3 or 4. Krishna or Maya. Right now, we still don't have that firm nista, that firm faith that I only gonna go towards Krishna. Right now, oh, I still have my family. They will save me. Your family cannot save you. And neither you can save them. You can only save them by giving them Krishna consciousness. And if they don't want, you've done your part. And you still, till the end of your life, try to convince them by your example that this is the right path. You set a good example, they will someday will take up.
I still sometimes devotees come and still they have some desires after we are 20 years, 30 years.
Fine. That is natural.
And I have to go abroad, I have to
That is normal. That is normal. That is normal. Okay, go ahead, fulfill your desires, but you will not be able to be happy and self-satisfied. Many devotees wants to come to India, especially to the Holy Dham, and reside here. Many devotees who are in the Holy Dham already, and they still want to go outside of the Holy Dham. Why? They have material desires. Fine. Go and fulfill your material desires. Never disturb. Never hinder. You can tell them, sorry, Prabhu. Been there, done that. Nothing happens. Look, Narendra Krishna Prabhu, he's from America. He's staying in the Holy Dham. We have some brahmacharis wants to go in America. Fine. As long as you're connected in Krishna consciousness there, don't stop chanting. You don't stop associating with the devotees. You don't stop coming to the temple. Because once you stop, it'll take many millions of lifetimes again before you can come back to Krishna consciousness. The whole success here is to not stop and keep endeavoring. Keep on trying, keep on endeavoring. Material desires there, that's normal. These material desires will be wiped out because Krishna is more powerful.
Both things can go together.
No. Because you're going to make, as I told you, there is a time, one time in your life that you're going to be making a decision where you want to go. Where you want to go. You cannot be one foot in Maya and 1 foot in Krishna. You can be in Krishna, both feet, but still wants to go to Maya. That is okay, as long as you want to be in Krishna. But if you'll be out of balance, you'll go crazy, and something might happen, very, very tragic. It's not. We don't want that. Be where you are, and Krishna will help you. Krishna is seeing our struggle. Actually, this is what Krishna is seeing. How you are struggling to become Krishna conscious. This is where you get the mercy. Those who doesn't struggle to become Krishna conscious, they will not get Krishna's mercy. They will get, but it'll take a long time. But for those who are really trying hard to surrender, they'll be the ones who are the best recipient of Krishna's mercy. Yes. And Maya will leave us alone. Don't worry, Maya will go away. But you have to convince Maya that you are trying to become Krishna conscious. It's a gradual process, and it's not so easy because we have to fight with our mind. Our mind is always like making so many arrangements and plans and this and that. But we're always becoming frustrated. Doesn't happen. Okay. One more from Narendra Krishna Prabhu, and okay, last 2 or 3. Okay, Narendra Krishna Prabhu. Why is this?
Will be delivered back and forward.
What's that again?
14th generation.
will be delivered?
21, like Prahlad Maharaj. That is the highest level.
Now, the question is that they are delivered or they have opportunity to be delivered.
Well, they will no listen. They will have to take up to the same process also.
Yeah. They have to purify themselves.
Yeah, everybody has to go this way. But if you are not, then if you're not a devotee, then you will not be able to kind of like carry them to go the same process. Yes?
Yeah. That's what I want to make sure that they will get opportunity to get carried.
They will eventually. They will all become devotees also.
If they follow that.
Well, everybody has to follow the process. No, but because of you being a devotee, they will follow. If you are not a devotee, how will they go? They will not take up to the process. It's like I have a nephew. He got initiated the other day. Right? In my family, I have a sister. She got initiated. She's a Brahmana. She worshipped deities also in Vancouver. Now I have another nephew who took initiation last Nisinga Chaturdasi in the Philippines. So everyone has to take initiation also. Everyone has to take a spiritual master. It's not that you become a devotee, then everybody is like, carried without doing. No, they have to do their part. They have to understand that they're not the body, they're spirit. Everybody has to follow that same way how we're doing it.
Prabhupada said unless you have purified 100%, no entry to the spiritual world.
Yeah. Yes, unless you're 100%. If you want one gulab jamun, you have to come back again to get your gulab jamun next life. Someday, hopefully soon, that will happen. Yes, sir.
Maharaj, as you mentioned, you can tell your mind you have been there, you have done that, and you have both your feet in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
But sometimes the material desires can be very luring, and you can be just lingering, and you're on the borderline.
Yes.
And you're convinced that I don't want to go there, but you are in a borderline. So Krishna will definitely save that kind of devotee, or will he just go back in the pool of Maya?
No, you see, the whole thing here is that this is a science. You have to control your senses. The mind has to become controlled. You have to do sadhana. Even though material desires come, you'll be able to say no. As long as we have this body and we're not 100%, not until you have 100%, the attraction will not come anymore. Attraction. But as long as we're in the process, attraction may come, but you can say no. See the difference? And if you say no, keep saying no, then Maya says, I'm useless to this person. I'm not gonna bother him anymore. Forget it. Let me go somewhere else. So that day will come. That day will come. Have faith. That will come. The main thing is you have to be always engaged in Krishna's service. Because if you're always engaged in Krishna's service, there's no room for Maya. As soon as we keep ourselves idle, Maya will capture us, no doubt. We think we're not in Maya, but we'll use that as an excuse. Prabhuji, I'm not in Maya. But you're not doing anything. That means you're in Maya. You have to be engaged. It's like here in Vrindavan. There's so many kathas going on. Oh, I just want to go to katha. But then after that, what do you do? That's why Prabhupada says, just be with the association of devotees, hear from them. And Prabhupada gave us everything. You go outside, you hear them, oh, this is nice. And again, the next day, you want to hear them again, again, again. Then what do you do after that? You will not go back to Godhead. You have to tell others about Krishna. This is the age of Sankirtan. The Kali Yuga. You go back to Godhead by spreading the holy name. You chant and you give to others. You go back to Godhead. If you just chant, you may go back to Godhead, but it takes a long, long time. You have to chant and give to others. You have knowledge, you give it to others. This is how it goes. Okay, we'll stop here now. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Someday we'll become self-satisfied. Hopefully tomorrow. As soon as possible. Srila Prabhupada ki.